A released WWE star made their return on SmackDown last night. We've got how Logan Paul injured himself at Crown Jewel, and we've got the latest on the backstage heat on Braun Strowman over immature tweets. Stay tuned for the news. We're kicking things off today looking a bit about SmackDown from last night. Now, we've got numerous WWE stars that have been released in the past year and a half, have all been brought back, and we've got a new talent come back last night. Of course, it's Sarah Logan.
It's Sarah Logan.
Sarah Logan. Did you expect to see her?
Yes.
You did?
Because of these vignettes that we've seen for the Viking Raiders, a lot of people speculated that, well, she was in one, and
She
also
was.
her voice has been used, and there's been various sort of clues that she might be coming back. And this also continues the theme of Triple H restocking the women's division as well.
Yeah, he's been really filling it recently.
Yeah,
It seems to be like that's the focus right now.
And there were recent reports that WWE were interested in re-signing ring-ready talent, or like rather than just relying on the ones they're developing from NXT, bringing back people who are already, like Dakota Kai, and people who've returned in that vein recently, just to, I guess, to fill up what was quite a depleted women's division.
Yeah, it seems that they'd kind of cut back quite a bit. So it looks quite nice that Sarah Logan may be filling a spot in that women's division. But she returned on last night's SmackDown, assisting the Viking Raiders in a beatdown of Legado del Fantasma and Hit Row. Now, they didn't even get the match underway between B-Fab and Zelina Vega.
It was going to be B-Fab's main roster in-ring debut.
I feel,
that's
that's a shame. You know,
Yeah.
maybe this was to cut short, and so she gets a bit more time.
Maybe.
a bit more time to train. But before the match could even get underway, the Titantron went up in flames, not literal flames, just like video flames. And a voice rang out saying, "Valhalla has arrived." And of course, it was Sarah Logan standing at the top of the ramp.
Now, the gamer folk among us in the office have pointed out they've all been buzzing, including you this week, for God of War Ragnarok.
I was going to say, this whole segment just makes me want to be at home playing God of War.
Okay, turn off that wrestling.
Yeah, get the wrestling off.
Get
Play
the
God of War.
PlayStation on. Or Xbox?
It's on PlayStation.
Oh, get that PlayStation
You're
on.
right, Jack. Look
Thank
at
you. Cheers.
Look at you, still on top of trends.
Sarah Logan was initially released back in April 2020, and then I believe she had a baby, and then
Yes.
she did briefly come back for the 2022 Royal Rumble match, but this seems to indicate more of a full-time return for her. Now, it did stir up a bit of controversy online as well, this return, with people on Twitter complaining quite a lot of people on Twitter saying that she looked incredibly similar to the independent wrestler Max the Impaler.
Yes, it was a very similar look. Now, Sarah Logan's got it's Viking attire. Max the Impaler, also similar Viking-looking attire.
The
It's the
makeup's very
makeup,
similar.
it's the dreads.
Yeah.
It is very, very similar, and I
It
can
is
understand the
very similar.
comparisons.
I get it. You can sort of see both sides of it because Sarah Logan has quite often been she's like as her time in WWE has gone on, she became more and more Viking-esque. She did then start wearing the dreads and stuff, but this one for many people was a step too far. I believe that Max the Impaler's real tag team partner was lighting up Twitter saying like this is a disgrace. So yeah,
I suppose it is a shame she's completely stolen the look, I don't want to say
It
completely
appears as
stolen.
though-
It appears as though the look has been completely stolen. But it also looks very similar to the protagonist of the game Hellblade, which we're getting lots of video game chat on this one today,
I don't know
Jack.
that one.
It's a very good game, but she looks very similar with the face paint, the line on the chin.
Yeah.
It's a very similar look, so it looks like there's loads of inspiration
Okay.
for it. But I'm excited to see what Sarah Logan does with the Viking Raiders. They're filling out the women's division and the tag division at the same time with this, so it's exciting stuff. But going from one Logan to another, we've got all the latest on Logan Paul's quite serious knee injury from Crown Jewel. What's the latest, Jack?
This is via the Wrestling Observer, who report that Logan Paul worked the majority of his match at Crown Jewel with Roman Reigns after he blew out his knee. The belief being that he suffered the injury during that viral frog splash while filming himself through the announce table. An incredible spot, but one which, according to the Wrestling Observer, did indeed result in that knee injury that Logan was talking about after the match. The spot has done 40 million views across social media, which makes it the most viewed WWE clip this year and has gone viral online. But apparently he suffered a torn meniscus and a torn MCL, and also it's possibly believed that he's torn his ACL too. We doubted it in the aftermath. We're saying like, well, how could he have done that? And he did all this other crazy stuff in the match. But I guess adrenaline does funny things.
Adrenaline kicks in, and he's just kicked it into next gear for that match. I feel like, and he just either that or he was like, "Oh, I'm already injured. I'm not going to make it worse."
That is
which
true.
you definitely could make it worse.
He did that massive tope though.
He did many things after that spot that
yeah.
he shouldn't have done on a blown out knee. There's no word on the recovery time at the moment. I was hoping he'd maybe be back for WrestleMania.
I bet they'd love it to have him at WrestleMania as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to be like that's a good spot for him. Have him a big showcase match there, but it might not be the case. He was spotted on crutches though coming home, which is understandable. But no surgery or no word on surgery right now.
No word on surgery. No word on the expected recovery time. Well.
Yeah. Best of luck to Logan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best of luck getting that healed. But we've got the latest on a championship match, which has been confirmed for War Games. Now, on last night's SmackDown, Shotzi Blackheart, is she going by Blackheart now?
I think she might be. I don't know. I've lost track.
Anyway, Shotzi was named the #1 contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship after she beat Lacey Evans, Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville, and Xia Li in a 6-pack challenge match. She's going to face Ronda Rousey at the Premium Live event. But what happened after the match, Jack?
So she had a backstage confrontation with Shayna Baszler. Now, Shayna Baszler has recently been kind of realigning with Ronda Rousey, her old friend, her old MMA horsewoman.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I did the
That's
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, Samoa Joe.
Her old MMA horsewoman friend, and basically Ronda. Shayna was saying you've got no chance against my friend Ronda Rousey. Ronda snuck up behind Shotzi and distracted her, which allowed Shayna to clamp on that rear naked choke, or the Kirifuda clutch, I suppose, and choke her out. Shayna's been really interesting recently. She's been more vicious again. It's what we like to see from Shayna Baszler generally, and she has been utilizing the clutch more to choke out her opponent. So it's and kneeing Natalya in the face after the bell as well. Oof. She's getting the Batista push, Fraser. That's what I think. She's getting the Ronda's Triple H and Shayna's Batista.
Okay.
And Evolution is a mystery.
Yeah.
Can you see what I mean?
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
Over time.
Okay. I mean, I like this new push for Shayna.
Yeah, me too.
It's very. I mean, many of us might have expected it with Triple H being in charge of creative. Her in NXT was one of his favorites. Like, she was pushed very heavily. She was one of the longest reigning NXT Women's Champions.
Yep.
It's exciting to maybe see her and Shotzi have a match, but have them be focused on rather than just a throwaway match on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And that match is taking place next week on SmackDown.
As part of the Build to Survivor series. War Games.
Do you think Shotzi can maybe take the belt from her?
No, I think this is possibly just like a one of those title shots to galvanize the reign of Ronda Rousey. I'd be very surprised if Shotzi won, but anything can happen.
Anything can happen in the WWE. But we'll stay on War Games for just a minute because we've got kind of maybe an indication of where they're going for the main event. Now, obviously, Survivor Series this year, it's got War Games. Can you do the Regal voice?
I'll try.
Okay.
War Games!
Well, that was actually quite good.
It was all right.
That was quite good. Yeah. Well, we've got the War Games match this year. And to end SmackDown last night, we saw
War Games!
That's
Sometimes
War Games!
Oh, yeah.
We saw the return of Sheamus. It's very Cedric. That's my son!
Anyway.
Staying with SmackDown. Last night, SmackDown, Sheamus returned to SmackDown.
Yes.
He was off with an injury, aka he was getting married. Congratulations to Sheamus. But he led the Brawling Brutes in an attack on the Bloodline during their Bloodline Acknowledgement celebration. We saw the Usos beat the New Day to kick off the night as well.
Yes.
So they're still the tag team champions. But the Brutes were outnumbered in this beatdown. They attacked the Bloodline and then got beat down themselves. But who made the save?
Drew.
My boy Drew.
It was Drew McIntyre who made the save. Now, it's been kind of implied by the people they've been facing recently that the Brawling Brutes have turned face, but this solidifies it for me. They're aligned with Drew. He's the biggest hero of them all.
He is. He's not got a sword anymore, so he's
good.
Yeah, I'm really glad.
Maybe he didn't have time to grab it though before he charged out.
Potentially, but they're a good face dynamic.
Absolutely, and this seems to set up, as you mentioned, the War Games match, the men's War Games match for Survivor Series War Games. We've got Butch, Ridge, Sheamus, Drew, and maybe
mystery person. I'm going to say Kevin Owens right now.
That's a great shout.
Love that.
Madcap Moss. If they do 5-on-5, there's been a Madcap Moss romance storyline hinted with Emma. By the way.
and Emma, real life couple.
Absolutely. Are they?
Yeah, real life couple.
Oh, well, that ruins it. I thought they were.
Sorry, I've broken the illusion
Never
for
mind.
Jack.
Wrestling's not. Versus potentially the Bloodline. If it's 5-on-5, then the Bloodline's already got 5. They've got Roman, the Usos, Solo, and Sammy Uso. So
Sammy Uso, the big Usi.
That means the faces would need an extra person, I suppose. And I think Kevin Owens is a good shout. Yeah. Oh. Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. I mean, he's got that little face dynamic at the moment. It could be him.
Wade Barrett.
But get Barrett in
Imagine
there.
that.
The Bullhammer.
Imagine that.
Stands up in commentary. He's on commentary for most of the night. Stands up.
Oh,
elbow pad on.
Imagine that. I think we've just made something amazing.
Book
Do
it,
do
Triple
it.
H. I know you watch these.
Yeah.
But we're going to finish
Don't know
on...
if he's cleared to wrestle. Do it though.
Well, maybe, well, we'll see.
Don't know if he wants to.
We're going to finish on an update. I think we reported earlier in the week that Braun Strowman had a little bit of backstage heat.
Possibly.
But we've had it now confirmed. He has backstage heat.
Yes.
As reported by Fightful Select, Braun Strowman's backstage heat comes from his recent comments on Twitter. Now, Fightful noted that those that they'd spoken to backstage in WWE had said that Strowman had been on his best behavior backstage recently, but social media Braun was another story.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
No, Strowman immediately he had a really entertaining match with Omos, in my opinion. It was really cool to see, and then immediately kind of threw away all that goodwill by tweeting, "Holy hell, Omos, can you believe we got 47 and 5 stars, or 47 and a half maybe?"
I don't know what he was going for. I know what he was going for, but he messed
He meant
it up.
loads of stars, reminded the people that no one cares about all these floppy floppers. Giants and monsters, greater than symbol, flippy flipper, bag your groceries at Kroger, hashtag airport test, hashtag size is the prize, hashtag swole is the goal. Why would you do that? And then Meltzer gave them 1.5
stars.
instead,
And I'm waiting for Strowman's latest tweet.
I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I think he has responded.
He's responded to it. Okay, well, good one, Strowman. Another wrestler who will never do a flip in their life responded and said the following about Strowman's floppy flopper comment. He said, "We need them and they need us. Wrestling is everything. There's very little truly right and wrong. He didn't come up in the business doing the things that a lot of those people did, so he probably doesn't understand." This was an anonymous. Yeah, he didn't pay his dues.
He doesn't respect this business.
He does.
No, but from the words of that anonymous source who said that to Fightful. And as you mentioned there, they've class themselves as someone who will never do a flip in their life. It seems like you don't need to wrestle a certain style to be able to appreciate that style of wrestling.
Of course,
you know?
yeah. I can't wrestle in many styles.
You've wrestled more than I.
No, but I can't wrestle as a big man.
Right,
I appreciate it.
Are you a flippy flopper?
I'm a flippy flopper.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm
a big man.
You are a bit. Yeah, you're like Omos.
I get over the top rope. That's how I make my entrance. Fall.
People often compare you to the Great Khali. Yeah. One member of WWE management though called Strowman's tweets immature, which I think we can all kind of agree on that one.
Yes, Fightful also clarified, although I don't think we needed it, but it's nice to know for certain that Braun's online comments are not part of an angle and they will likely not become a storyline in WWE. They do say that it's not out of the question for him to be ribbed on TV about these comments, but as far as storylines go, no, Braun's still a babyface on TV, even though he tweets like a heel.
He's still a good guy. Yeah, I don't quite understand it. But for him. Keep an eye on his Twitter. Maybe he'll say more things. But that's all the news we have for video 1 today. We'll be back later on with video 2. I'm sure we've got plenty more news. It's been nice to have Jack on a Saturday morning, hasn't it? Let him know in the comments how he did. Yeah. What a dab.
A little dab. Dabbing on the haters.
See you later.